Hey there, and welcome back to Sludge's weekly newsletter. David Moore, the co-founder of Sludge, is here with me to talk about a hearing that's being held at the New York City Council today regarding the city's involvement with immigration and customs enforcement and the contracts that they both have together. So, David, if you want to explain a little bit about what is this hearing about, and I can sort of delve into how it came about.
Sure. Last week I had an interview with Councilmember Carlos Menchaca, who represents a district in Brooklyn, includes the neighborhoods of Sunset Park and Park Slope and Red Hook and others. And he's the chair of the Immigration Committee of the New York City Council, and today, even as we talk right now, he's holding the first hearings on new legislation that would abolish ICE. And what's really interesting is that this legislation was prompted in part by a Sludge article by Josefa's reporting from July, which built on additional reporting from earlier in July by Josefa and Alex, our reporters, which I'll ask her about in a second. But the legislation would cancel New York City's ongoing contract with ICE, and this was brought to light in a way that, so I'll actually ask Josefa first. You want to describe a little bit about what you found in your July investigation?
Yeah, so after Alex and I worked on a story trying to figure out where is ICE making money? So we plotted out basically every single contract between organizations and ICE. And from that, it sort of turned around into trying to figure out what municipalities that bill themselves as sanctuary cities, sanctuary states, sanctuary counties, whatever, who are there any counties or municipalities that are contracting with ICE? And it turns out that yes, several sanctuary jurisdictions do make money from contracts with ICE, which has been under fire lately. And New York City, which is billed as sort of this very friendly community for immigrants, is one of these cities that is contracting with ICE. There is one between the New York City Police Department and ICE, which allows ICE officials to use their gun ranges. And while the NYPD has said that it would limit their cooperation with ICE, the city is still making money from ICE. And same thing with the Hudson River Park Trust is also renting out a lot of parking spaces to ICE officials and making nearly $500,000 off of them.
Right. So in my interview with Councilmember Menchaca, he had this quote to say about how this legislation came to be, this new bill came to be. And he said, "This is the power of a multi-sector participatory democracy approach. We first became aware of Josefa's reporting through a constituent who shared with us the article. She's part of a progressive Democratic club on the West Side, and she forwarded it to us with some good questions. What are you doing about this?" And so now there's two legislative items that are in the City Council for their first hearing. Councilmember Menchaca said that there's support within the Immigration Committee for the general measures, and that I think it's likely to project ahead, to look ahead what's next for these bills of abolish ICE in New York City, that they'll be advanced to the full council, to what's called the stated meeting, to be able to have a voted on by the full council, at which point bills that make it onto the agenda there typically do pass. So we're looking ahead to the possibility that ICE will be that New York City Council will be moving to end the contracts with New York City based on input from constituents and community groups and from the Sludge reporting of Josefa and Alex.
And it's an easy win for the council and the de Blasio administration. They can claim that they are officially severing ties with ICE, and it's not necessarily a lot of money that they'd be losing out. It's about $500,000, which in terms of what the New York City budget is sort of a drop in the bucket for them. And it will make a big splash if this does come to fruition.
Right. One cool thing about the New York City Council is that they have a website, which I actually helped build in my previous work. It's a nonprofit website. It's built on free and open source code. And it's called laws.council.nyc.gov, and also goes by the name of Councilmatic. So this is a totally free public resource website where it makes it easier to understand what's happening in council and to stay informed. And so you can actually go to that laws website and subscribe to free email alerts to track the hearings of the Immigration Committee or the legislation introduced by Carlos Menchaca and others in the council, or to the specific intro 1092, which is the Abolish ICE intro, that currently has one co-sponsor of Councilmember Giovanni Williams of Brooklyn, and track that and another resolution as they make their way through the council. And also a big shout out to our colleagues at Documented, another First Fleet newsroom on the civil platform, which covers immigration. The Abolish ICE legislation in City Council was first reported in exclusive in mid-August by the reporter Felipe, and so you can follow Documented NY and find Documented on the web to subscribe to their awesome newsletter. And we'll keep you updated as the developments with this legislation happen based on Josefa's reporting.
Yay. All right, well, thanks for reading, and please make sure to send this link to someone who you think might be interested, and subscribe to Sludge.
That's right, and Josefa's in New York City today. It's great, yeah! It's a New York City in-person day for Sludge. Bye.